Most men over 40 struggle to build their upper pecs, and it has nothing to do with their age or their genetics. As someone who went from being mocked for my bird chest in my early 20s to my chest now being my strongest muscle group visually, I can confidently say that focusing on upper chest development is the fastest way to build well-rounded pecs. The problem, however, is that most men don't know how to train their upper pecs effectively, and that's exactly what I want to discuss in this video: why 99% of men over 40 fail to build their upper chest. The truth is, you're probably already doing the right exercises, but growing your upper chest has less to do with what exercises and more to do with how you're doing them. And to better target your upper pecs, we must first understand some basic anatomy. The pecs are made up of two heads, the sternocostal head and the clavicular head. And while both heads are part of the pectoralis major, the upper clavicular head has a distinct fiber orientation. While both heads work together in horizontal adduction, or bringing your arms across the body, the upper pecs are also responsible for shoulder flexion, or bringing your arm up, and internal rotation, or rotating your arm inward. So now that you have a better idea of how the upper pecs work, let's jump into the 5 reasons your upper pecs aren't growing and how to fix it. Number 1, you're not prioritizing the upper chest. Leaving your incline pressing for the end of your workout is a guaranteed way to keep your upper chest underdeveloped. This 2012 study found that muscles trained earlier in a session experience greater strength and hypertrophy gains compared to those trained later. So start your workout with your upper chest focused movements, as this will ensure maximal fiber recruitment before fatigue sets in. Not only will this result in more muscle growth, but training your upper chest while it's fresh will make progressive overload far easier to achieve. This is critical because bench press strength is strongly correlated with chest development. And if you're not sure what exercise to start off with, I recommend some form of incline press. One study found that lifters who only performed incline presses saw significantly greater upper chest growth than those who relied on flat pressing or a mix of both. That's because the upper and lower pecs, despite being part of the same muscle, are innervated by different motor nerves, which allows them to work somewhat independently. So if you're not specifically targeting the upper pecs, you're never maximizing growth in that region. Number 2, you're not using the right angles. It's no secret that incline presses are superior to flat pressing when it comes to targeting the upper chest. That said, not all incline angles are created equal. One study comparing the activation of the chest muscles at various bench press angles found the sweet spot for maximal upper chest activation to be around 44 degrees. Another similar study, which examined the activation of the chest at 5 different bench angles, found that the 30-degree incline produced the greatest activation of the upper region of the pecs. For best results, I recommend an incline angle of anywhere between 30 and 45 degrees. Any lower than that and the focus shifts to the sternal region of the pecs, and any higher will result in greater involvement from the front delts. Number 3, you're not setting up properly. Based on the length-tension relationship of the pecs, we can see that the fibers are active on all portions of the curve. Simply put, they'll benefit from being trained at longer muscle lengths. By optimizing your setup, you'll be able to produce peak forces in that stretched position. Thus, you're placing the chest fibers in a mechanically advantageous position to experience maximal growth. Without a proper setup, you take that advantage away from the pecs, limiting the effectiveness of the movement. So focus on keeping your chest lifted and your shoulder blades pulled back. This allows your pecs to stay in an optimal position to generate force and maintain constant activation throughout the press. To improve your setup, focus on raising your chest toward the ceiling during the descent while simultaneously rowing the weight. At the bottom, aim to have your shoulders fully retracted. As you contract your chest, let the shoulder blades move naturally into their proper position. This setup maximizes pec engagement and helps keep your joints happy while pressing heavy weights. Number 4, your upper chest is not doing the work. Just because you're pressing at an incline, it doesn't mean your upper chest is doing most of the work. While the incline does shift emphasis to the upper pecs, it's your arm path that determines how much of the load they actually take. Your upper chest fibers insert into your upper arm, attaching along your collarbone. And the main role of the chest is to pull your upper arm toward these attachment points on your torso. Simply, if you really want your upper chest to work, you have to make sure that your upper arm path is in line with the fibers you're trying to train. While you may be more inclined to flare your elbows during an incline press, this misaligns the upper arms and the upper pec fibers running to the clavicle. While you'll still build strength and stimulate the chest, more of the workload shifts to the other pec regions and even the front delts. So instead, when performing any upper chest work, keep your elbows tucked around 40 to 60 degrees from your torso. This keeps your upper arm in the best position for activation, stimulation, and hypertrophy. In fact, studies have shown that a supinated grip or a close grip bench press produce higher upper pec activation. And what do these two grips have in common? They both naturally force your elbows into a more tucked position. And if you're struggling to keep your shoulders tucked, try a dumbbell incline variation where you're pressing with a close to neutral grip, palms facing each other, as this will guide your elbows into the ideal position. And number 5, you're ignoring the main function. Most lifters only think about moving the weight up and down, but the pec's primary function is pulling the arms inward and across the body. To accomplish this, think about bringing your biceps towards your pecs as you press. Given that you may be using barbells or a machine with fixed bars, the main point is to cue yourself to bring your arms inward. This focus helps activate the chest more effectively and reduces reliance on front delts and triceps. By thinking of pulling your arms together, you maximize tension on the pecs throughout the range of motion, ensuring greater engagement and muscle growth. This principle can also be applied to your chest flies. Instead of just bringing your arms together at the top, think about getting your arm across the body by bringing your biceps to your chest. And if you're still struggling to grow your upper chest, watch our video on the only 3 chest exercises you need for bigger upper pecs. Pair those exercises with the training adjustments we discussed in this video, and you'll have no problem adding mass to your upper chest. Did you find this video helpful? If so, click the like button below, as it'll truly help out the channel. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe for more videos, and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next one. Peace.